knows what you should be doing, even though they don't know your life, your stories, your desires, your fears, your family, your obligations. I'm hoping this podcast gives you the opportunity to think about what you want, to listen to your still small voice. Welcome back. When I'm recording this, it is the last week of July in 2026. And luckily for me this past week, we have had a bit of a reprieve. Actually got down to 75 today and rainy, which normally in the summer is not something that people desire. But even everybody I'm running into and talking to, even if they like summer, are thrilled with this, what I believe is actually now 72 degree weather and gray after essentially weeks and weeks and weeks of 99 to 100 and just unrelentless sun and just getting rain because we are in a drought. So anyway, this week is about another phrase we tend to use and maybe don't understand, at least I know I didn't. When someone refers to the dog days of summer, which is technically right now, what does that mean? And doing a little Google searching, I found out just how much my idea of what the dog days of summer were had nothing to do with the actual reason behind the dog days of summer. So my assumption was just that these are the days because it is hot and we are tired that you just lay around like a dog and pant and try to get cool. And that's the focus, is just taking care of oneself or being conscious of the heat and of your body and maybe just not doing as much as before. But again, that was my spin on it. I'm not saying it's not wrong, but it's not the official definition of dog days of summer. So when I did some looking, the dog days of summer actually have to do with a star, the dog star, Sirius star, I believe, which is in the constellation of Canis Major. Hey, guess what? It's about a dog, and it is the brightest star. And this is the season or the time, in theory, that the star becomes more visible or something. Then they've also proven that it has nothing to do with it and the timing. So it used to be in the Northern Hemisphere, the later days of July through August, and then it started as early as July. And again, all this proves, just once again, that this is all made up, that everything we say and everything we do is all made up and based on someone else's idea of what something should be. So in my mind, my version of dog days makes way, way, way more sense than anything that is based on a star in the planetary movements, but not really. So the other thing that I did see and I do agree with is just that these are the months of discomfort. And interestingly, I believe it is either Danish or Finnish that they also call it rot month, just because everything is so hot and things go bad so quickly, as in foodstuffs, which I find that a little more easy to connect to than a star that also doesn't actually match the dog days. So it is the dog days, even though right now it feels beautiful. But at the same time, I notice I am still deeply in the pattern of having to tell myself to do things, to plan things. And I have no interest in being social. It is funny that the months that you're supposed to be out and about, for some people, there's a lot of interest in being social, and for others, there is none. And I am deep in my cave, not wanting to be social. I did just spend the past 2 days at a conference, so maybe my social bucket has been emptied and needs to be replenished. So my idea for the dog days of summer, back to my definition, because you know what? I don't feel is any more accurate or true than mine. So my definition of dog days of summer is just being careful with myself and taking the time. I also, in my dreams, imagine these hot days of summer to be the slower days, to be the more kind of lazy, lackadaisical sorts of days where you don't get up with any idea of what you're doing or what the plans are. You are just in the moment, usually being slow and kind to yourself in the heat, usually eating fruits and vegetables, everything that's coming from the garden. Now, this is in my dreams. In reality, I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I go to bed, and that is what I do. But in my mind, that is what I imagine would be a great thing to do during the dog days of summer, and kind of the goal of how much I can be like that on the time that I am off, where I am not paying attention to what is being fed to me as what I should be doing. And oh my gosh, there's only so much time left until school, which I know for a lot of people is fast approaching. But it really is about taking a different sort of pause, if we're going to connect to last week, taking a different sort of pause and actually digging into what the season is truly bringing at the moment, which tends to be heat and dryness and just kind of general crankiness, which means being slower, taking care, and maybe pulling inward. I love any season where you can pull inward, and any excuse to pull inward at a season that is all about outward movement and interaction. To me, can't beat it. I'll put any season to be an inward season. And you know what? Considering how things are created and planned and made, and expectations and social obligations, you know what? Mine is just as valid. So whatever the dog days mean to you, or if you call them cat days, or if you call them raccoon days, or if you call them no days and you think I'm crazy, all of it's good. I am wishing you a good rest of your July. And as we head into August next week, whatever you should be doing, I hope that you are taking care and listening to yourself. And I'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm so glad. If you didn't, that's great too. Thanks for giving it a try. You can do all the things: subscribe, rate, review, emoji it up if you feel so called. I appreciate any feedback you have. Please reach out to me on Facebook at The Still Small Voice Whisperer.